So welcome back to the making of another 1950s dress. Today I'm using Butterick 7066 and some cotton from Walmart, and the floral print is from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to attempt view B because I want to redeem myself doing the collar and the sleeve cuffs that I failed on in a previous make. It doesn't appear to be difficult. There's the skirt pieces, and the bodice and the sleeve are actually attached, so it doesn't seem to be too complicated. So I'm going to get all of my pattern pieces out. The envelope shows a little bit of wear, but the pattern pieces themselves are in really good condition. I'm not sure exactly what year this pattern is from as it's not printed on it, but my guess is the mid 1950s. So I start with the bodice. I get my supplies out. I get the pattern all laid out and pinned down so that I can proceed with cutting it out. These 3 darts here are super interesting. I've never seen anything like that before, so I am curious to see what shape that adds to the dress. And I'm excited to sew this dress. This fabric has a lovely springtime vibe and I'm here for it. Spring is actually my fave. I really get into the cleaning, the organizing, the shopping. Spring just feels like a fresh start, and it's definitely something we could all use right now, and I'm excited for it. So once I got the bodice all cut out, I realized that I really didn't have enough fabric to cut the skirt panels the way they were intended to be cut. And so I folded them in half so I could use my fabric to the best of its ability. And then I just added seam allowance in some weird way that worked in my brain. I'm not even sure how I did this, but I measured it just to make sure they were going to be the way they were designed to be, just with the added seam allowance. And then I cut them all out. I'm planning to wear this dress to an upcoming event that other people will be attending, and I am not making a matching accessory to wear over my face, if you know what I mean. I'm going to leave my face bare when I wear this dress, and that feels so exciting and yet so frightening. But it's spring and it's time to start again and start fresh, and honestly I am a little uncomfortable, and I wonder, am I the only one who is feeling this way? I think I've become accustomed to covering my face when around humans outside of my bubble, and the feeling of some sort of security or safety that comes with that. And I've gotten very accustomed to this bubble that I'm in of just my little family and the slower pace and time to do things like sew and read, or just spend a whole Tuesday in the bed for no reason without any excuse or shame. And my kids have gotten used to me just winging it as a parent and throwing schedules and rules just right out the window. So much of how we lived prior was based on having somewhere to be or somewhere to go, right? You go to bed so you can be up at a certain time. You dress a certain way for school or to go to work. Meal times and fun times are all scheduled around the places we have to go and places we have to be. The past year in hibernation, it's been like, oh, Maverick, you want to stay up till midnight? Fine, I'll see you in the morning. Major, you don't want to eat your dinner? You'd rather have those chips? Fine, enjoy. Nobody wants to wear pants? Fine, team no pants. So I have to tell you about this zipper. I stitched the bodice together up the back, and I wasn't supposed to do that just yet. The zipper is actually supposed to extend through the bodice into the skirt, and I went ahead and put it in just the bodice of the dress. So you will see that I have to unpick the zipper and then put it back in with the bodice and the skirt portions of the dress attached. It was a whole thing, and it kind of slowed up this project because I was so annoyed by it, but I'm happy to say that I pushed through and I finished. Okay, so now where was I? Oh, parenting in hibernation, and how horrible of a job I've done, and how hard it's been, and how we have no rules because I have felt that things were difficult enough, and so everybody should find joy wherever they could, even my children, and in some ways it's done more harm than good. And this is not the way I want to continue to parent, and I do hope the past 14 months haven't ruined them for always. I've read or heard somewhere that there's a season for everything, and my season of winging it and hiding and hibernating is over. I know that we must emerge, and now I'm thinking about how I want to emerge. Who am I now? post-hibernation. How do I want to live and how do I want to present myself? What are my new values? What are my new priorities? What do I want to do differently in my roles as parent, partner, person? These are just questions I'm posing. I don't have the answers that I'm getting ready to share with you right now, so I hope that's not what you were looking for. None of us have these answers. This post-hibernation has never happened on this scale before, and it will be a new season for us all. But what I do know is that I want to enjoy people, places, and things, and I want my children to do the same. Major had her very first ballet class today. She's not quite 3 yet, so as soon as she became aware of herself is when this all begins, so I'm excited for a lot of firsts for her. And for Maverick, I'm excited for his education to resume and become a priority again, and for him to understand effort, work, reward concepts, and that life isn't just alternating between states of reward and pleasure and winging it. For myself, I'm not really sure yet, but spring is the season that things begin to bloom, and so I'm excited to begin again. I hope you are too. So I'm finishing the dress up now. There's nothing left to do but the collar, the sleeve cuff, and the hem. It was supposed to be a quick make, but it was a process of stops and starts. You can tell by the many nail changes in this video. But it came out beautifully, and as with most beautiful things, its creation was a process. We started our process of emerging just as I was sewing up this dress, and so I had other things to do, obligations, places to go, and people to be with. It's starting slow, and we are okay with that. I promised myself to still find time for the slow things that bring me joy, my books and my sewing machines, and I know they'll help ease my apprehensions and my anxieties, and so they are essential. And I ask that if you would in the comments, share with me your essential activities or any tips or insight you have for the emerging post-hibernation. And so here she is on the dress form. Overall, I'm really pleased with how she came out. The collar could have been a little better, but it is what it is. The sleeves, I did a number on those, trimming them up, and I cut off one of the darts, and I think that would have helped the shape of the sleeve a lot more. But overall, I'm pleased with it. It looks pretty good on, so I will show you some pictures of me wearing it. Oh, yeah, for the most part, I'm pretty happy with it. And I'll see you in my next video that is soon and sure to come.